Hauntingly white, deceptively simple yet full of hidden depth. Today we're creating the Bride, a Halloween cocktail that feels like it could float straight into Tim Burton's Corpse Bride and fit perfectly. Hey everyone, it's October and I absolutely love spooky month. In fact, this is my favourite time of year, right through to New Year's Eve. And nothing says Halloween to me more than finding ways to enjoy the season, like watching scary movies, and making cocktails that capture that same vibe. The Bride cocktail does just that. It's easy to make, tastes incredible, and has an understated, almost fragile appearance, the kind of drink that could have been sipped at Emily and Victor's wedding. That is, if she really married Victor. Corpse Bride is such a hauntingly beautiful film. It's gorgeous to watch, and at its heart, it explores deep themes of love, loss, grief, and not quite fitting in. There's this current of melancholy running through it, heightened by its cool blue palette, though it never really feels truly sad. I always think of melancholy as being the highest form of grief or sadness, not really painful but bittersweet, that feeling you have if you lost someone you loved long, long ago. And then there are those small scenes like Victor being reunited with his dog Scraps in the afterlife, or the boy in the world above recognizing his skeleton grandpa, that remind us that even in loss, love never really disappears. What I don't understand is why I waited 20 years to watch Corpse Bride. That's right, it came out in 2005. What? I was already a fan of Tim Burton, Nightmare Before Christmas, anyone? And it was always on my radar to watch it, but for some reason I never pressed play. Well, that's all been fixed now, and wow, I loved it so much. After all that, I think we all could really use a cocktail. For today's drink, here's what we need. Vanilla vodka, white chocolate liqueur, Parfait Amour or Crème de Violette, depending on where you live, Chambord, lavender syrup, and cream. And we also need a little bit of honey and some crushed Oreos for the rim. So first, let's rim the glass. We need to have some honey to make the Oreo cookies stick. So I'm going to paint it. I've got a food paintbrush and I'm just going to paint a line. It's not going to be exactly even, but I think it will be pretty good. Just roughly, never was a painter, so this is kind of the extent of it for me. Can't do walls, can't do pictures, but I can rim a glass. Okay, if I was making this for somebody and I didn't know what their tastes were, I would only rim half of it. But because it's for me and I know I'm gonna like it, and also for appearances, I'm gonna rim the whole glass. Then we just roll it in the crushed Oreos, which I'll just put there so you can see. We're just trying to get like a dirt effect, which is basically, you know, when Emily comes out of her grave, all the dirt that's pushed out from the grave. Just really give it a good push down, like that. I don't want it to be too thick and too dirty looking, but just something that kind of, whoops, looks a bit rough. There we go. That's the glass done. Let's get on with making the cocktail. Okay, ice into the shaker. Now I've put a fair bit of ice in here because we haven't pre-chilled the glass. If I pre-chilled the glass, it'd make it pretty hard for the honey and the crushed Oreos to stick. Okay, first we need to add vanilla vodka. So we need 30 mils or 1 ounce of vanilla vodka. Next we add 30 mils or 1 ounce of white chocolate liqueur. This is white and creamy. 30 mils or 1 ounce. And next I have this purple liqueur called Parfait Amour. The kind of equivalent is Crème de Violette, which is more the North American purple liqueur. And don't seem to be able to get this in North America, and we in Australia don't get Crème de Violette, so use what you can, use what you can access. This is really delicious. I love this so much. It just gives a like kind of really nice flavor in the background. And for this, it's going to be 15 mils or half an ounce. And next, Chambord, 15 mils or half an ounce of Chambord. This is a black raspberry liqueur. And now 15 mils or half an ounce of lavender syrup. Again, this is purple and delicious. And lastly, we require 30 mils or 1 ounce of cream. As always, using thickened cream. I just like the velvety texture. The cream always gives to shaken cocktails. Okay, we're ready to shake. Okay, let's go. Yes, that is very cold. Now, I am going to double strain because I don't want to have any ice chips in this because it's very velvety and smooth and I want to keep that nice fragile appearance. So, Hawthorn strainer, again, you could just use the top of the cocktail shaker if you're using a cobbler. And I always have trouble working out the best way to hold this. And I don't think that's the way. Okay, double strain into the glass. Oh. Now somehow I've managed to put some, somehow I've managed to get some crushed Oreos on the top of the drink, which are falling in the top, but you know what? I don't really mind the appearance. Look, if you can avoid getting crushed Oreo cookies into the actual drink itself, then probably best to do that. But I don't really mind a little bit of dirt sitting at the top. Okay, my favorite part, let's taste this. This is a absolutely wonderful drink. It is so good. There's so many things going on and they all complement each other. I can taste the lavender syrup and the Parfait Amour. Parfait Amour gives you sort of a floral feel, but there's not enough of it in there to be overpowering. And then, you know, we've got the cream and the white chocolate cream liqueur. And, you know, and then you've got the vanilla underneath it all. So it is absolutely a winner. Honestly, if you make this, I don't think you will be disappointed. That is if you like creamy drinks. If you don't really like creamy drinks, well, maybe not, but maybe you still might like it. What I love about Corpse Bride and Tim Burton's style in general is how it balances spooky and sweet. The land of the living is cold and grey, but the land of the dead is vibrant, musical, and full of heart. The story itself is compelling. Victor and Victoria are pushed into an arranged marriage by their dreadful parents, and neither of them is thrilled. But then they actually meet and it's love at first sight. When Victor bumbles his wedding rehearsal and ends up accidentally married to Emily, the corpse bride, things twist. Emily is such a tragic character, caught between heartbreak and unconditional love. Yet she is kind and good and chooses to let Victor go. It is bittersweet but also beautiful, as what Emily really needed to be free was not a husband, but justice and the selfless sacrifice of her dreams, so Victor could have his. Halloween is the perfect time for stories like Corpse Bride. It's less about jump scares and more about love, loss, and finding beauty in the unexpected. And just like The Nightmare Before Christmas, it's gothic and whimsical, spooky yet sweet, and timeless enough to resonate with every age. But if you haven't seen Corpse Bride in a while, or ever, like me, Halloween is the perfect time to dive in. And make yourself the bride cocktail to sip while you watch. If you do, let me know in the comments what you thought of the movie and, of course, the drink. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Halloween cocktails. Cheers!